Greetings everyone, my name is Tina Holland and I am a program specialist with Washoe County School District's 21st Century Learning Division, and today I'm going to talk to you about ePortfolios. If you want to follow along with my script and also have direct access to the links during this video, you can access the slideshow on our YouTube channel, WCSD21, or our Camp 21 course website. And if you see the little green question mark up in the upper left-hand corner, that indicates that there is some kind of interactive thing to do, such as look at a site, watch a video, or read an article in Edpuzzle. So we have this on our YouTube channel. We also have the slideshow of it, and this is also in our courses that are located on Edpuzzle. So by watching this workshop, what are you going to walk away with? Well, basically you will learn the what, why, and how of digital portfolios. And even though portfolios have been around for a very long time, it's really just this past decade that digital portfolios, also known as ePortfolios, in fact, I will be interchanging those words, digital portfolio and ePortfolio, they're the same thing. It's really the last decade that the ePortfolio has become an important tool and instructional scaffold, providing students with the opportunity to craft and present an evidence-based account of their skills, learning, and knowledge. And as education moves towards project-based learning, the integration of 21st century skills and more of a constructivist approach using ePortfolios in your classroom is really invaluable. And hopefully, after this workshop, you'll see that there's tremendous benefits that the ePortfolio will provide to both you and your students, and you will begin using them. So what is a digital portfolio, you ask? Well, an ePortfolio is a digitized, purposeful collection of artifacts and reflections that exhibits the student's efforts, progress, and achievements in one or more areas of the curriculum. And so here you can see we have our little question mark up in the corner, which means we have something to do in Edpuzzle. So go ahead and watch the video, what is an ePortfolio? And then I want you to answer the question, have you ever used a portfolio, either digital or paper? Have you ever used one personally or in your classroom? And reflect on your experience with portfolios and what you liked or did not like. On the other hand, if you have not had any portfolio experience, tell me what inspired you then to go ahead and pick this particular workshop on portfolios. So we're going to talk about, before we talk about what a portfolio, go into what a portfolio will do, I want to talk about what a portfolio is not. And a portfolio is not a scrapbook. It is not just a collection of every activity done throughout the year. It is not just work. It is not dictated by the teacher of what should be included. It's not just a bunch of graded assignments, and it is not just assignments that earned a good grade. A portfolio, if implemented well, digital portfolios can encourage reflective practice, peer and self-evaluation and assessment. They can provide an ongoing basis for students' planning and goal setting. They can enable and encourage learning and promote self-development. They can cater to a wide range of learning styles and different learning strategies. And they can compactly store artifacts. They accommodate a variety of media such as student readings, music, videos, presentations, and performances, which ultimately creates a multimedia portfolio. They are easily accessible to a number of audiences. They are easy to edit. The work can be duplicated to facilitate multiple assessments. Digital portfolios offer flexibility and arrangement and selection. They foster student ownership of personal efforts. And because digital portfolios are both a process and a product, they can provide a framework for formative and summative assessment. So basically, a digital portfolio is the bee's knees for the 21st century classroom. And why do I say that digital portfolios are the bee's knees of the 21st century classroom? Well, Besides the hundreds of benefits and advantages they have, they also happen to integrate every single one of our 21st century learning competencies. And our learning competencies can be found on our website at wcsd21.com. And so basically, our learning competencies are collaboration. Students are collaborating when they work in pairs or groups to discuss an issue, solve a problem, and or create a product. Portfolios, yes. Check one, check one off. Um, Portfolios can be used for knowledge construction. Check. Portfolios can be used for real-world problem solving and innovation. Portfolios. To do a digital portfolio, you have to use some type of technology. So yes, use of technology for learning. Digital portfolios, self-regulation. In fact, digital portfolio is real big on self-regulation. Students have to be able to manage the portfolio and regulate their time and figure out how they're going to do the portfolio process. Skilled communication. And so you can see, this is why I say that digital portfolios are the bee's knees of the 21st century classroom. Portfolios have all 6 of these competencies covered. So what I would like you to do is, you can see again our green question mark. I want you to review our 21st century learning competencies, and then I'm going to have you read the 41 benefits of an e-portfolio. And I'm also going to have you read a couple more articles. I'm going to have you read the advantages of the use of e-portfolios in the classroom and 5 reasons to use digital portfolios in your classroom. And then you are going to answer the question, reflect on this question and answer. Do I have you convinced to use digital portfolios? Why or why not? And what is the biggest obstacle to implementing digital portfolios in your classroom? And what is the solution to overcoming this obstacle? Also, who are some people that you can collaborate with to help you overcome this obstacle? And then I wanted to get your toes wet on this website here. I'm just going to have you skim through the website. It is a very extensive website about portfolios, and so I don't expect you to dig really deeply into the website unless you really want to. But I just want you to look at it, know that it's available, know that it's there. And of course, all of these links and resources are also on our Pinterest board. So we have looked at the why and the what of digital portfolios. Let's take a look at the how. Before implementing digital portfolios, you really need to ask yourself a couple questions, and that is, 1, why do I want to use digital portfolios in my classroom? And 2, what is my pedagogical frame that will be the foundation of them? These 2 initial questions are important because digital portfolios should support pedagogy, and pedagogy is what will drive the digital portfolio program in your classroom. So before we continue with the how of digital portfolios, go ahead and take a look at some sample portfolios here. And then after you've looked at a couple of these sample portfolios, I'm going to have you answer the question in regards to the example portfolios. What ideas did you see that you would like to incorporate into your classroom e-portfolios, and what would you change? What would you do different of what you saw? And then I'm going to have you watch a video by a gal named Kathy Cassidy. I've seen a couple teachers be leery about using digital portfolios in their classroom because they feel that the kids are too young. And you are going to see a teacher here, Kathy Cassidy, and you're going to see that the kids are never too young to have a digital portfolio, and you'll see how she uses them in her classroom. It's a really wonderful video. There are many types of digital portfolios. There are growth and development portfolios, which emphasize the process of learning. There are best work or showcase portfolios, which emphasize the products of learning. And there are evaluation portfolios, which show the evolution of learning centered around inquiry or a project. And then there are hybrid portfolios that are a combination of any of those types, and they can be both a process and product portfolio. And so what I want you to do is I'm going to take you to a website called Authentic Assessment Toolbox, and you're going to scroll about a quarter of the way down to the table called Growth Portfolios. And I just want you to review these tables on growth, showcase, and evaluation portfolios. Just kind of look at them, be aware that the information is there, and just look at some of the differences between the portfolios. And then I'm going to have you read a very short article about the differences between a process oriented portfolio and a product oriented portfolio. And then answer the question, what is one important idea you learned from these readings that you don't want to forget? So no matter which type of digital portfolio you want to implement, the most important thing to consider is the connection to student learning. Digital portfolios ideally should be about learning how to learn. And some questions to ask before implementing ePortfolios in your classroom are, how do I move from a culture of marks, grades, tests, and assignments to a culture of improving learning? How do I facilitate student ownership of learning through self-regulation? And how do I gradually release responsibility for lifelong learning to my learners? So in this activity, I would like you to watch the video on digital portfolios called Portfolio Power, and just do a reflection, and that is, what questions or thoughts do you have so far about digital portfolios? So that's a lot of information that we've just gone over and that you have looked at about portfolios. And I know you're asking, okay, I get the whole thing, the whole benefits of portfolios, they look wonderful, but how do you get started? How do I get started? First of all, having a strategic plan in place before launching digital portfolios in your classroom is vital to their success. And before launching them, you should have the answers for these questions. You should have the answer to, what will be the purpose of the portfolio? What form will the digital portfolio take? How will it be structured? What evidence of learning and growth will be collected in the digital portfolios? How will learning be assessed? How can the ePortfolio be a connective tool? And how will meaningful, thoughtful reflection be facilitated? And so I want you to read the article on the steps for using WordPress throughout the development process. And just note that these steps are applicable to any platform used for digital portfolios, not just for WordPress. And then just write a real short reflection, and I just want a short summary for each section of the reading about purpose, collection, classification, reflection, connection, and evaluation. Just a short, like, couple word or sentence summary on what each of those are. So once you have the answers to the questions we just went over, you will have a solid groundwork for implementing ePortfolios into your classroom. You can even start out small, like a class blog or a website, and then move on from there as you start incorporating more and more of the ideas of portfolios. So take a look at these resources from Haiku Learning, and they're really excellent resources. And I do have this is actually from a series of 4 posts from Haiku Learning, and I have all 4 of these posts up on our Pinterest board. But I'm just going to have you take a look at post 3, and that is, don't start from scratch, guidelines and resources for developing ePortfolios, and also post 4, which is 10 tips to get you started. And this, and then also I want you to look at this graphic on phases of implementation. And once again, these resources can be found on our Pinterest board, so they are available for you when you're ready to implement the bee's knees of 21st century learning into your 21st century classroom. And then you're going to answer, are the wheels turning? Tell me what you are thinking about implementing digital portfolios in your classroom. Along with the how of ePortfolios, I also feel that I need to emphasize probably the two most important aspects of any learning activity, and that is reflection and feedback. And the truth is that although reflection is often the first thing to go when teachers run out of time on a project or a unit, activities that prompt students to look back at what they've learned and accomplished isn't just busy work or an unnecessary step. In fact, encouraging students to pause and think about what they're learning and why it's relevant to their lives is really a critical piece, and something that I think so often, probably more often times than not, gets overlooked in our units and us trying to get all that information and all the standards met. Um, Reflection and learning are the heart and soul of a portfolio. It's not just a collection of work. Reflection provides the rationale for why the artifacts represent achievement of a particular outcome, goal, or standard. And so there's a really excellent video here about reflection, and I want you to watch the video, and then I want you to read through the article, The Taxonomy of Reflection, and look at the sample reflection questions that are provided by Edutopia that I have here. And it's really neat how they divide these questions up, and that is they divide them by backward looking, inward looking, outward looking, and forward looking. And then at the end, I have a pretty motivating video on reflection, and it's optional. You can watch it if you want, and even at this video actually might even be great to show to your students, to tell you the truth. It's really a wonderful video. So go ahead and watch the video, read about the taxonomy of reflection, and just take a look at some sample reflection questions. And then you have that optional video on reflection, motivational video on reflection. The second thing to go when teachers are pressed for time, and I was very guilty of this, especially when you have 150 students, feedback can definitely suffer. And you get to the point where it's easy to just give the A, the B, the C, and oh, nice work, good job. But this is not effective feedback. This is not feedback that moves learning forward. And in order for digital portfolios to be successful, feedback needs to be immediate and identify the way forward. Feedback should not simply tell learners whether their answers are right or wrong, or simply provide evaluative feedback in the form of grades and short, non-specific comments of praise or censor. As we will learn from this video that I'm going to have you watch, this latter kind of feedback affects students' senses of themselves and tells them how they stand in relation to others, but it offers very little direction for moving them forward. On the other hand, if feedback is done right, feedback is a very powerful tool to motivate learning. And just like reflection should, feedback should also move learning forward. So I'm going to have you watch the video. This is a video by the guru of assessment, and that is Dylan William, and he says some pretty interesting things here about feedback. And then answer the question, what does it mean to you that feedback should move learning forward? Besides using digital portfolios for your students, it's really important in today's time to have also a professional digital portfolio. Not only could professional teaching portfolios be used for career advancement, but a professional digital portfolio is a great place to show professional growth and reflection. It is a great tool to show your administrator and bring to your administrator, especially with our evaluation system that we have now and the PGS that we have. What better way for showing professional growth than to do that through a digital portfolio, and to have the evidence of growth and the reflection of that growth there. I mean, after all, that's what digital portfolios are designed to show, is evidence of growth. So once again, Digital portfolios are the bee's knees to 21st century learning, the 21st century classroom, and to my PGS as well. And I have a couple articles here of some ideas of what you can include in your professional teacher portfolio. And then I have some sample teacher portfolios. A couple of them are actual sites. And then there's another professional teacher portfolio that they use live binders to make their digital portfolio. Okay, so we have looked at the what, the why, and part one of the how of ePortfolios. Let's go ahead and take a look at some platforms to use. The truth is that any site builder, Google Sites, Weebly, EduBlogs, Blogger, Wiki, VoiceThread, LiveBinders, the list is really just endless, can be used to create an e-portfolio. I mean, there are literally hundreds and hundreds of platforms that would be perfect. And here I've just listed 5 just to give you kind of an idea of the possibilities. And so what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you click the links and take a look at each of the platforms and then give me your opinion on each of them. I know that having student email accounts can also be an issue at times for some of you. So I have also included, and this is optional, but I've included a resource that gives kind of a workaround to so students don't have to have their own email account, and it's actually done through Google, and it's done through the teacher account. So that's an optional article you can read. So take a look, and again, these are just 5 platforms, just 5 samples, and you know there's just hundreds out there that you can use, and so it's really just a matter of preference. All of them will essentially do the same thing. All of them are a place to put evidence of learning, to have artifacts, and to have reflection and show growth. So in closing, ePortfolio centered learning thrives in environments where students are given a choice, where inquiry based or problem based learning is the pedagogical foundation, and where students are asked to set goals, reflect upon their learning, and share their learning with others. When learners, whether they are young or adults, have a choice in their learning and can develop mastery in an area of interest, engagement and motivation or flow drive learning. And so in closing, I want you to watch this video. And even though it is college level students, and I believe it's LaGuardia College, I really think this video is very powerful in giving a great feel for the powerful tool that digital portfolios really are across all grade levels and across all content areas. And you will see in this video how digital portfolios move learning forward and make such a difference to these students, and their lives and their profession. And then I want you to close out this workshop by writing a reflection. And that is, I want you to reflect upon your learning journey through this workshop. What are some ideas that really hit home for you? What are your thoughts about ePortfolios? Do you plan on implementing them in the future? So thank you so much for joining me in my workshop on digital portfolios. If you want to learn more about being a 21st century educator, visit our website at wcsd21.com, and please follow us on Twitter at WCSD21, and we also post a lot of things with the hashtag WCSD21. And you can also see all of our Pinterest boards that we have. We have quite a few of them. And I have the Pinterest address there. And then I'm going to include the specific Pinterest board for this workshop on ePortfolios, and I will link it right here. And then for the last thing, I need you to go ahead and read this disclaimer, and then indicate that you have read this disclaimer by writing your first name and last name, the class that you are in, that you are watching this Edpuzzle through, and then just indicate that yes, you've read the disclaimer. So once again, thank you for joining me, and I hope that you are motivated and encouraged to implement digital portfolios into your classroom.